Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're starting the UPR. As you can see, a lot has happened since the last time you were here. Let's actually take a quick tour of the UPR. Also, you can tell I just logged in because I still have that message up. Anyway, a lot of development has happened. The inside of the town hall has been worked on. I think the town hall has been finished, actually. I'm led to believe it has. Belief? I'm led to believe the town hall has been finished. We've got some industry up. We've got a train station. Bim Bob's machine is still here. I'm not sure if I ever explained the Bim Bob war machine. Anyway, we've got some residents, and more stuff has been flattened. But I have to say, something has to change, and that something is behind us. It has to go. Yeah, so while I was off, like, the server, like, in the downtime, me and Thomas came to a conclusion that these walls just weren't gonna work for the UPR. I do actually really like the walls, but, you know, one of the problems is, I don't know why I hit F5 again. That right there was like lightning, and that pretty clearly shows why these walls aren't the best for the UPR. Basically, we can't have such like fragile walls, and also like the colors and like tones and like material, me and Thomas both like just established wasn't useful, or like didn't fit the theme, the vibe we were going for with the UPR. We actually cooked up some lore while like I was off. Hello, witch. Also, I lost I lost my trident in between videos. So, you know, I can't throw my trident at mobs anymore. I'm gonna have to go get a new one at some point. Anyway, so let's start the long process of taking all of this down. And done. Now you might be wondering why I left these little strips on ground level, which aren't really like the full thing, you know. There's still a lot left of the old wall, and that's because I need to plan where the new wall is going to go. See, the new wall is going to be a lot more useful and space aware, as well as going to fit the theme more, but it's much straighter, so I need to figure out how I'm going to include it. I don't want to like include that many turns and bips and bobs and all that, so I'm gonna need to do some straightening out of this old wall plan. Also, holy hell, look at all this wood. We have so much wood. Oh my god, I didn't know I used this much, and so much of it is still left or just not picked up. Oh my god, I committed so much wood to this project. Without further ado, let's begin. And so I've run into my first problem. This highway is far too close to the wall. I am genuinely thinking about potentially just like moving it over somehow. I'm still not quite sure, like what the plan was for the highway, because it does feel very awkward here. um, yeah, I don't know. The highway adds complications that I was trying to avoid with the original wall. For instance, this is where I want to put a portion of the wall, like on this axis right literally here, and yeah, it makes it pretty difficult to build here and not literally build onto the highway. Oh no, oh Christ, the wall profile. Oh no. Oh no. It's literally right into the highway. Oh no. Oh Christ, I'm gonna have to move that. I don't want to move that. Mmm, tasty. So I could potentially move it in one, but it's still going to be right on top of the highway, meaning I'd still need to move it. It's. I'm not sure I can move it any more than one in. Though. I might maybe be able to move it further in. On the bright side, when I do move this highway, it'll be rather easy because I'm moving the gate too. So I could literally just like have it like break off here, like going directly into the gate. So, that'll be helpful, I guess. It's still annoying. It's still annoying. So, admittedly, the new wall design is taking much longer to build. Part of me wants to put this down for the time being so I can do it in between episodes and recording, especially because it's like 9:30 at night, almost 10 actually, so I won't be able to commentate about like what's going on. And I don't know, it's just like I was expecting a much simpler wall, and now there's like 80 things that have to be done because of it. I would go over all of the issues I'm having, but I feel like most of them are pretty boring and mundane and just mean that I'm going to have to spend some extra time planning, which doesn't really make for good content in my opinion. So, yeah, we're just gonna move right along. Another thing we'll be doing in the UPR at some point in the very, very near future is building an iron farm in this plot. I even have the villagers out of their little breeding thing that we've contracted over here. It's not great. Anyway, there will be an iron farm that goes up sometime soon. I'll be using the same design I used in the Arcadian Trade Center. And outside of that, there might be a sheep farm and some politics. But most of the things in the UPR are actually addressed. I'm not sure if I have the book on me, but in between recording sessions, me and Thomas discussed there was a UPR deal that actually, now that I think of it, wasn't covered at all for iron. A discount from SRC to the UPR on iron, but the UPR was like getting sort of the short end of the stick, and I did some negotiating, and now the UPR and SRC have a much fairer deal that the UPR is invested to stay in, even if things go sour. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk about in the UPR was this government building and fuck, and the residence, because these two are recently finished and are actually part of a developing policy system that is in the UPR. I almost anyway. The government building will be housing the UPR parties and elections, like political parties, I mean. Will be issuing the policies for all UPR citizens and the sovereign state of the UPR. You'll be able to find all the information of like what the government's been up to, and we've even cut out a political system for how the UPR will be working, with a focus on a coalition government with, I believe we said chairmans? I think we said chairmans. I'll have to ask Thomas. Hold on. Actually, wait. hold on. Leading, oh, okay, I didn't actually say it. Anyway, we were going to use, I believe, a chairman government of whoever was like the lead, like the elected official for the leading political coalition and or party would get that office right there and would basically be the voice of the state without any like actual power. They just got to like issue mandates and whatnot. These residents over here were also part of developing political policy, as we guarantee are in the process of guaranteeing all UPR citizens at least 200 square meters of living space. Which, if we did our math right, the double-decker buildings should accommodate for 200 square meters per person, I should say. So you can't just like cram a whole bunch of people into 200 square meter space and say that's good. But like there's the individual residences, which are far more than 200 square meters, and there's the double-decker like medium to high density residents, which are really scraping that line of being just over 200 square meters. Funnily enough, me and Thomas both moved into the the like higher density residence. And lastly, because I'm almost certain I forgot to talk about it, here is the new brewery. Actually, this is the rail station. Over here is the UPR brewery, and it's been we've been busy. We've been we've been rather busy. We found out that hoppers will auto suck drinks after they've been fully distilled, and by that we mean after they like can't be distilled anymore, which will be different for like every drink. So we can make really high like value drinks with very little effort. Like we used to need to go in and hand add drinks to the table or to the distilling process and remove them, and now all we need to do is put them in and they'll remove when they're ready. It's still like a lot of effort to make alcohol, but significantly less. With all of that out of the way, I'd like to head on over to Arcadia, where you'll see a pretty big difference. I've been building this while listening to like podcasts and debates because I'm a nerd and I listen to debates and engineering podcasts. Anyway, this is going to be the SRC archive. I know that in the animatic I was referring to it as the Savanico archive, and that's because the plan for it existed before SRC did. So for like all purposes, it is a SRC. Ah, God, wow, I stunlocked myself. Anyway, it is a SRC archive. I still need to finish like this side of the building and finish working on the infrastructure of the building. You might notice that the infrastructure is a little interesting. Ow. But I think it is going to be one of the most convenient buildings to get around, especially if you're like a building manager of some form. And I'm probably going to use this in more high density, like this like planning structure rather, in more high density buildings. I have to say I almost might like that, like the archives infrastructure more than the Arcadian Trade Center infrastructure, and there was a lot of thought and consideration that went into the Arcadian Trade Center infrastructure. That way, like, there was like hub floors without like actually needing to, go to each and every floor. But I don't know. I think that one's like just got a smarter infrastructure set up. Another thing that's happened is, and honestly, this sounds way more impressive than it actually was, I became mayor of Arcadia. And again, that's far less impressive than it actually sounds. See, a lot of people think that like it's difficult to become mayor, but the thing is, a lot of people were also offline. And pretty much during the entire election, it was literally me and Thomas online. And considering that we were both, we were both part of the ABF, pretty much meant I got an easy victory. Like, I didn't even have to try to get my hands on the mayor position. It was almost given to me forcefully, because Thomas couldn't have been mayor again, considering that two people were being online. With all of that being said, I have a few plans. I don't think I'm going to go over these in video. I might make more animatics about it, but I seriously doubt it. These are the parts of the game that I find really interesting, and I just don't know how to make them like into a marketable video because it would just be me talking to like Thomas or Ellis or someone for like 40 minutes talking about what the most efficient system would be, and like why we need level deals while also being isolationists. It's a pretty like unmarketable thing unless you also share like a love for like making a country run good, in which case there's other mediums you could probably get that same joy from. Uh, but suffice to say that once I actually start enacting my plan, the Arcadian government is going to boom in power. You might remember that I have repeatedly said that SRC is more powerful than the Arcadian government. Well, that's not the only thing. The Arcadian, sorry, the Bank of Arcadia is more powerful than the Arcadian government. SRC is more powerful than the Arcadian government, and Thomas is more powerful than SRC. Somehow. I'm actually not sure if he actually is, but by my last estimate, he was just slightly more powerful than SRC, which meant that at the end of the day, he could have walked away with the keys to Arcadia. This has been recently changed, though. Thomas's last bill leaving the office was a one-time tax for people who had over 1,000 Arcadian dollars, otherwise known as him and only him. Some might think that is a flex, but it really wasn't. It was him being concerned at how much power he had accrued and decided it would be best if he somehow had less power and maybe rein in SRC and himself by the Arcadian government. It's a pretty long-winded way to say that the Arcadian government gained power, Thomas lost a significant amount of power, and SRC lost a little bit of power. And my goal in office is to make everyone want to work with the government. I know that sounds pretty stupid when I say it like that, but it is actually the end all be all goal. I would like to not really rein in SRC or the Bank of Arcadia, but make them want to work with the government and value the government as a powerful entity. It's less stick and more carrot, pretty much. I'm imposing taxes on businesses and businesses that work with the government will receive subsidies instead, which is long-winded way of saying they're going to get money if they work with us, and if they don't work with us, they'll get a slight penalty. There's also probably going to be trade penalties, so that the government can get a little more money, and maybe we can grow the Arcadian economy ever so slightly. I'm also going to be very boots on the ground and try and actually develop some of these infrastructure plans that I'm working on. Another huge thing I'm going to do is give blanket subsidies to companies that want to help develop Arcadian infrastructure, that is very accessible for people. And obviously, the last part of my plan is to make factories and companies that the government can profit off of directly, whether they're private companies that are owned almost entirely by the government or just state owned enterprise. These will all collectively serve to bring in a cash flow for the government. I know that section was very boring and it really didn't go into the details like I would have liked to, but it's as much as I dare to when I'm targeting general audiences. It's bad out there, folks. Last thing on that topic is that I'm slightly concerned about how to introduce policies into Arcadia because, as far as I know, Arcadia is supposed to be a less policy town. I mean, most of what the government is supposed to do is infrastructure. That's why the government was founded, and that's what I thought it was supposed to continue doing. Although Thomas recently has led me to believe that perhaps there is actually an amount of policy and policing that is supposed to be introduced from the government. And I'd actually like to get, the rest of Arcadia's feel on that. Now it is finally time to check in on SRC, the behemoth of a business. There's actually quite a few things I didn't quite cover with SRC in the animatic that I should have. For one, SRC owns Blue Tech. I believe they own 51% shares, and Hazel owns 49% shares, but I actually don't have the assets in front of me to look at, so that number might be a plus or minus anywhere there. Anyway, Hazel was gnomed? Not a gnoblin, not a gnelf, a gnome. Anyway, Hazel was named as the CEO of Blue Tech and pretty much handed the keys to the castle. That being said, Hazel hasn't been on in a pretty long time, and also, I personally don't know if I trust her to keep the bookkeeping that I feel heads. Oh my god, how did I not see those coming in? Fuck. Anyway, I personally don't know if I trust her to keep the level of record keeping that I feel like is needed to be part of the SRC, umbrella. Another thing SRC owns is ANN. This hasn't really changed a lot other than giving SRC practically, not literally, free advertisement into the newspaper. It still doesn't make the newspaper run on time. If I'm not mistaken, SRC owns roughly 40 to 60% of ANN, meaning that they do belong as a subsidiary of SRC. After the merge of Savannahco and Rosethorn Corporation, actually, what did C stand for in RTC? Regardless, SRC forcefully merged Blue Tech and Lucky 13, as RTC owned a majority share of Lucky 13 and I owned 50% share of Blue Tech. Wow, I am stun locking a lot today. Anyway, we forcefully merged Blue Tech and Lucky 13, so now they're both referred to as Blue Tech and Lucky 13. Actually, I don't quite remember if they are actually referred to as Lucky 13 and Blue Tech. But regardless, that's how we pulled off the getting the 51% share, because RTC owned so much of Lucky 13. A final thing to talk about before we move on to anything else is the fact that SRC started a arena, and I have some clips, but overall you need to know that there was wait, were these not ever paid out? I think we did these. I don't know. Anyway, We did a lot of these when like E and Fruity were still on the server. Actually, Fruity is actually now regularly on the server, though he's also at college, so you know it's a little difficult for him to like regularly play now. With all that said and done, I'm going to fast forward to when something interesting happens. Probably me installing these policies. First order of business, I want to deputize you um, as the senior economic and infrastructure advisor to me
Okay.
for the duration of my term.
All right.
Um, Secondly, I'm trying to think of which of my policies would be the easiest and most impactful to um, implement, just so we can get like a day. I mean, it's not really day one, but you know,
Probably, honestly, building the farms.
the factories.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, we can also sign the infrastructure planning and development bill. Um, Uh, the National Bank or nationalizing the Bank of Arcadia is going to be ludicrously difficult, so let's not look into that. As well as the government bonds, so those two can be put to the side for the time being. The factories pretty much guarantee that the businesses
There's some
will,
money coming in.
yeah, well, the businesses will be working. So that brings us to the last three things that would be up for debate. And that's the
Hmm.
high value business tax,
Hmm.
the import tariffs, the government or trade. I believe there's something else. The subsidies for infrastructure and planning.
I think the ore trade is not like a difficult controversial issue. It's like, very easy to pass.
Yeah.
Um, I think the high value business. I'm gonna get the latest issue of the Times
Well, we'd need
just so I know like how valuable each business is.
we'd need a definition of what a high value business would
Exactly.
be.
That's what I'm checking.
Yeah.
Just so we know, like, okay, like I don't know, a $10,000 value would only hit this. $8,000 value would hit these businesses. I'm checking real quick.
Yeah. And the thing is, I almost feel like there should be a vague category for what a high value business would be, rather than like a strict uh, definition.
Like, what do you mean, like a category?
A vague category being like a high value business would be anything, would be like the most value, like the top, like three or five most valuable businesses rather than
I see.
um like businesses past a certain point.
Well, the three most valuable businesses are SRC with $10,000, the Bank of Arcadia with 6,100, and Lucky Blue with 850.
Right.
After that is A&N with 330.
So if we were to tax those top three, then with like a monthly tax question
I would say
mark?
monthly tax, yeah.
Yeah. Of like um 2%, or no, not even, like 1.5% of their business value. That would be,
I would make it one or two.
mm, I'd say two then, because
Okay.
2% is still pretty small for some of these for like all
Yeah,
of these businesses.
and it is just profits.
Yeah. So
For example,
so
so we get like a rough idea. Like SRC.
I'm gonna need to actually write this up when I'm not recording because I can't spell for shit, and I also just want the signing. SRC what?
SRC made about $170 over the month of August,
Okay.
and with the 2% business tax, that would be $3.4.
Which isn't bad. If there's
Which is
like,
perfectly fine now.
yeah, that's like a decent amount of money to go to the government.
Yeah.
It's like there's a phrase for this. Not so much that it seems like ludicrous, but not so little that it's petty or whatever. I don't know what the phrase
I
is.
would say it's a really small amount.
Yeah. What the? It's like getting darker when I like look down. Maybe I'm seeing things. Maybe it's not getting darker. Anyway, so I also wanted to talk about the import tariff. Now, I know you had objections to it, and the objections made sense. That being said, I think that somehow strengthening Arcadian economy, as in like the general economy, whether it's the government or the businesses that subside that are within
Exist.
within Arcadia, I think if we strengthen them, then that is a good thing for the global economy. And I believe a slight import tariff would be the way to go. However,
I don't think Arcadia businesses need strengthening, as they are already. It's already the most advanced economy in the world.
yes,
And any tax we would add onto that would just stifle any development in Arcadia and other countries.
Okay. So my brain is doing the thinky thinks. Perhaps instead of an import tariff, we should look into a export tariff. I don't know. I don't know. We can put that to the side for the time being. It's not as important, especially because this tax here will be very strong at like bringing very regular revenue to the Arcadian government. Just a quick overview for viewers. Yeah. Outside of the factories and the ore trade, would you recommend anything?
I do think the factory alone will already bring a lot of money, so I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. That's entirely fair. I feel like my fan is too loud.
I mean, I can't hear it from your end, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do anything else. The ABF, it's not publicly traded, yeah?
No.
Okay. I mean that makes sense.
It's not a company, it's a special interest group.
Yeah. No, what the fuck? You know glass breaks fast. Ah. Hold on, what's...
I'll be right back.
I'm going to go put this tax in the archive so people can find it.
Okay.
Wait, should it go in this archive?
I think so.
Okay.
It's a law that was passed.
Yeah, the research doc. Why is there so many of the... Oh yeah, I know why.
Because everyone got a copy.
Yeah. And yet no one walked away with one. Oh yeah, that's another thing I need to do. I wanted to sign subsidies for companies that were in that work for the infrastructure projects.
Okay.
What should a subsidy be, though? Um, I'm thinking. I'm thinking a subsidy of. Well, first off, what would the qualifiers for the subsidy be? It would be to work actively on.
Working on anything determined to be related to infrastructure.
I feel like that wording could be a little loose because that wording is unironically how we get the loop in Las Vegas.
A great piece of public infrastructure.
Don't even. Don't even. But no, for real, like.
Well, yeah, but like we can't like make a law that like exactly defines what counts as infrastructure.
Yes,
I
but
don't think it should just be like something like if you want to do infrastructure, you approach like the mayor or like the transport guy, and ask like, "Yo, is this infrastructure?" And then if so, how much would I be paid for making this something?
I think what it should be is a subsidy will have um a subsidy will have what's my brain doing? It will be given like the value of the subsidy will be determined based on like a review. I want to say an evaluation of the planned infrastructure piece.
Okay.
That way.
And basically, it'll be it will always like be at the very least enough to like compensate the material costs.
Okay. Okay. What if they're working on like the Nether project? I'd say that would be part of working on Arcadian infrastructure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I'll write that up. Oh boy, did that one take it out of me. Oh boy. Quickly for recording purposes, this is the thing we just totally didn't have to write 2 times because I'm an idiot. Okay. So we've got the high value business tax and the infrastructure development. Wait, is that? Did I put that in wrong? Nope. Nope, I put it in right. I just set them. What? What was that?
It was a sign that said we did after we totally didn't have to write that twice.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Oh boy. So hint, to all the people who write a lot in Minecraft books, which I thought I wrote a lot, but apparently I don't write enough to have known this. Hit done after you've reread the like last page. That way, when you press escape, thinking you're just like doing a quick Control Z, you don't have to start from the ground up. I'm fine. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know. There should just be a Control Z.
Yeah, Minecraft books should be better in general.
I don't think they're terrible. I just like wish they were better. Anyway, I think that's all that we can sign in right now. I mean, we could make those private companies, but I don't think those are really important. And moreover, they don't need like a bill slash law slash edict like based on them. They just need to like exist and have like their paperwork in the government archive or in the mayor's office. What are you doing?
Updating the map.
Wait, is it out of date?
Yeah, it doesn't have the newest highway.
I see. Newest highway.
It only has the really old one to the industrial district, or like the redstone district.
Oh, wait, it's that old?
Yeah.
Damn. That
It
means...
also doesn't have like the construction for the archive.
Yeah. By the way, I'm thinking smooth stone roof for the archive.
Okay.
Like, because I don't know what to do for the archive roof, and it does, despite common belief, it does in fact need a roof. Anyway,
Okay.
because like I think the bonds might be enough if we install, like, we've installed the tax.
Yeah.
Which means we'd be able to pay off a bond if it if we installed them. I keep on saying installed, but like written into law. I don't know what the proper word is.
Instituted.
Instituted. And with the factories and ore trade, which I'll build off camera, we would be able to make a fair amount of money. Like, there would be literally zero reason not to use the government or trade. Like, unironically, the government only stands to profit and people only stand to profit. It's like the safer bet. Actually, does the government definitely stand to profit from ore trade? I would think it would.
It really depends on how it's done.
Well, it would need to be handled somewhat elegantly to make, because it's basically gambling. But the thing is, it would be, because the government would be the house because it's gambling, then yeah, the government should only stand to like make money.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing some big part here though. Because,
Well, you're missing that not a lot of people would do it.
well, I mean, you and I would do it because,
I have fortune.
okay, that doesn't change that, like, you would definitely make a certain amount of money versus fortune, which is saying, oh yeah, you can make money.
I always fortune mine.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You don't use silk touch like at all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I use it for like if I want stone.
Okay, well, you're a weirdie.
I just hate getting deep slate, like the raw deep slate.
I hate it too.
That's why I only fortune mine like on the deep slate level. And that's
Yeah,
where I
but
usually
it's
mine.
more efficient to silk touch mine.
It's not more efficient as I touch mine.
You can bring more items back.
Bring more shulkers, you lazy bastard.
Okay, but if I bring more shulkers, they're still going to fill faster with fortune mining than with silk touch mining.
Okay.
Therefore, I can bring more back if I silk touch mine. Like, you understand how a compressed...
The real limitation here is time.
The compressed state of a
I
block...
can bring up to 27 shulkers and like be fine.
Like, you...
I'm not gonna fill 27 shulkers. That's like several hours of mining. I'm gonna go mining for like 1 to at most 4 hours. And that won't change no matter how much space I have. If I had literally infinite inventory space, I wouldn't mine longer.
Also, I need copper. I need like 10 copper, like not ingots, like raw copper. My equipment is dying fast. Oh my god, I should not have gone end busting. It has eaten my equipment like nothing else. Unironically, my helmet is below half health.
Okay.
Oh my god. Hi, phantoms.
Take some iron, sell some iron to villagers, and put the emeralds in the warehouse.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
what I
we
usually
are
do for
low
XP.
on emeralds in
Yeah.
the SOC warehouse. Anyway, so you don't think the ores like rather I shouldn't say
I
you.
think the main issue is I don't think that many people will use it.
I mean, I'd use it if I thought I was getting a good trade, if I thought I was getting a good deal.
I might use it when I like mine on like a copper level,
Hmm.
because there I usually prefer getting stone over cobblestone.
Yeah. Whee. My elytra's gonna break. My elytra's at 2 health. Okay, hold on. I get to use the pit. The pit. Hole. Hole.
Don't you wish you could do this, Liz?
Hole. Hole. Ah, it's lagging like a motherfucker.
Come to the pit.
Oh my god, it broke literally right above the bank. It literally broke like half a meter above the bank roof.
Also, we need some we need some golden carrot restocking.
Okay.
So there's also something you can do with like the emeralds.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, just like I wanna plan how to actually make money with the ore
Okay.
store. And also, we probably should give money to Ellis for coming up with the idea. Anyway, I'm gonna stop recording. That's probably gonna be the video today, guys. I didn't really get to talk about us exploring the Deep Dark, but that can be pretty easily summarized with these 2 clips. I'm like standing on carpet right now. I'm actually so scared. Holy hell.
I just see all the golems next to my chest.
Yeah, they're like, we've got you, bro.
Don't worry.
Your stuff is secure, Commander.
And I also didn't get to go into like the sorts of fights we were having in the arena, but I think those really do deserve to be uploaded on their own. Disappointing Lizzie time, I actually lost the recordings to like most of the arena fights. There's still some recordings, but I lost the Vizrat and what was the other recording? What was the other fight we had? It was some Arcadian government event. Hold on. I think it was something about the new election. Stably Cup. Yeah, so I don't have either of those, which is really disappointing because they were a lot of fun. I remember the Vizrat fight was actually like a lot of fun, and I wasn't really expecting it to pan out, which is really disappointing because I don't remember the results from it either. Anyway, I do actually hope you guys enjoyed this more drawn out video that talked more about policy and like the inner workings of the server, because this is again what like I really love. This is like my favorite part of Minecraft. And like even though I might not do this in the next season, it is also still really interesting, and I will always like consistently love it. It's just like nowadays it's getting kind of hard to like be the biggest business and government and do all the administrative stuff. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. This is Lizzie from OkSoStudios signing off. Bye bye.